If you're looking for a scholarly article on something, really sciencey based about how SPF works, you would have to use your search terms in that sort of rhetoric, in that sort of language, and you'll get more results like that. So you can talk, you write something like solar power satellites, but if you wanted, like a news article, then you could maybe make it a little more basic language to help you figure that out, or some terms that you've seen in technical space. Also, you should describe as few terms as possible. You do not want to write like 17 words in your Google search because you're not going to get anything from that. Don't be afraid to add in words. I'll show you some cool tricks you can use on Google, but for the most part, you want to keep it, like I said, simple and straightforward so people can get a wide variety of searches at the beginning, and then you can narrow them down as your research continues, as you try to refine your search to find specific terms. Alright, so I want to talk to you about Google Advanced Search, which you all may or not have heard of before. This is a much better alternative than just like the one circle at the beginning, or sorry, one space at the beginning to type in. So here is Google Advanced Search. If you go to Google, you click right here, it says Advanced Search. This I'm feeling lucky thing, I don't think that's going to work, so Advanced Search. So this is pretty straightforward how you can do this. So you at the left it shows different things that you can refine your search for. So for example, all the words would be solar. I can do something like solar powered satellite. Google will only return me searches that have those three words in them. You can also do the exact wording of phrase, which would be that, for example, solar powered satellite could show up anywhere in the article, but it would be like solar. If the next paragraph would say powered, and somewhere else it's satellite. If you do it in this section, which I'm going to do, then it will show only in that order whenever you are looking for it. So they will only be talking about SPS, not just like solar power. You can talk. There's another option with one or more of these words. You can type those in there to figure something like that out. So like NASA, Obama. Right. You can have put unwanted words. So I don't want them to talk. I don't want any of my searches to have the word China in them. I don't know why you would, but you can do something like that. There's more options down here that I use less often. So this like reading level thing is just to make it like easier to read. Like refine down to like what a 5-year-old can read, or 15-year-old, or like an older person. The best part. Sorry, turn this over. The best part, I think, is like you can refine to your state. There's more options here. There's other also on actually once you search the Google document. So go on Advanced Search. Oh, I told that one down. So Google document with the correct name. So I can click on something like, let's say I want this article right here. That can go on there. So if I think that this article is pretty tight, and I find like piece of evidence in there, and I want to find more things like that, you can take the URL and go back to your advanced search. And at the bottom, back down here, there's an option that says you can find pages similar to the page. So instead of just taking, the search term that you've done, it refines it even more to find articles that are exactly like that, or not exactly, but they're similar. So this is very helpful. Like in politics cards, or if you're just looking for, one more link to my this ad. This really helps you out in general. Click on that, and it brings a lot more out. So these are all coming from similar types of articles, also similar types of people who write about solar power satellite. So the next thing, there's some cool tricks you can use on Google that the advanced search sometimes uses for you anyways, but first one of them is quotation marks. Like I said, if you put quotation marks around a term, then that term will only show up in that order and in that exact term in your search terms. You do cite colon, that will only search, it will help you search for articles, or only articles from certain sites, so like the Brookings Institution, colon, and then it will come up with only articles from Brookings Institution. And that's kind of helpful when you're looking for, you just want to find articles from a certain point of view, so it can really kind of get rid of a lot of the extra sites that you have to go through. The minus sign exclude the words, plus sign makes it so that words and they're exactly as true. One of the cool things that I learned about last night is this asterisk. You can put that in any part of your search, and it kind of like fills in a blank for you. So, like if you're like Obama signed asterisk bill in asterisk or like 2009, then you will find searches for every bill that Obama had signed in 2009. Well, 2009. One more thing, that's the end of Google. My discussion about Google. Google is awesome, and there's a lot of cool functions to help you refine your search. One more thing we want to talk about real quick before Hunter takes over is our think tank. Who knows what a think tank is? Research group? What about you over your research?
Yeah, it's like a research group that's inside or subsidized by the government.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a group of experts who come together, they do reports, they sometimes do essays, things like that in general. But mostly, a lot of them are funded by advocacy groups and a lot of political parties, and so you'll find that certain ones are very leaning one way or the other, so that's really helpful. Like if you want to kind of find a politics card or something like that, you can find it that way as well. Just a list of some general ones on every topic that you can use. And the Cato Institute, that tends to be libertarian. Heritage Foundation is conservative, and the Brookings Institute is liberal. You shouldn't think of these as being biased or, well, actually they are a little bit biased because they are funded by certain political parties and advocacy groups. But at the same time, they're also experts in their field, and they have a lot of background knowledge, and they're very highly published like that. So take this as a way to find, if you like, for example, if you really want to find a card that says that the United States should project its power and, really increase its hegemony, you might find that somewhere in like the Heritage Foundation or Heritage Foundation that tends to be conservative ideology. Think tanks on the space topic, they do the space parliament because I wasn't aware of any, but they are free. There's a lot more. If you want to email me or Tracy, I just can put them all in one slide. These are some good ones that you can use to, when you're looking for specific things about space, space policy. All right, Alex. Just one more thing about thinking, so I'm writing these down. The thing is that these obviously are, they're publicly funded. A lot of times they're not-for-profit organizations. You can find these articles on Google and other search engines that we're going to talk about in a second. But in general, you'll find these a lot quicker. This is a really good conduit to find evidence that, affects what I said earlier. Are we good?
No.
No? Anything else? Alright, so I'm going to do a brief tour for you of the electronic resources that we have at UNC. So the way to... Alright, well I can't do it this way. There's a couple ways to do it, but the main way is you go to library.unc.edu. And that brings us to the library site that we have at UNC. And there's a lot of things we're going to talk about. I don't know, some of your labs, they go to the library and look for, I hope a lot, most of your labs, all your labs will go to the library and look for books, because books are awesome. But for right now, we're going to talk about the electronic resources that we have at UNC. So you can click on electronic resources, and it brings you up to all of the letters in the alphabet. So if you have a certain one that you want to search for, you can click on it. So I want to look for ProQuest, I can go to P, and scroll down. Alright, it's taking a while, but I can scroll down and find ProQuest very easily. There's also another function here. You can search for abstracts, and that will bring you up to more things. If you're not sure, certain journals that are certain a search engine that has certain ideas. Like if you weren't sure how to find a journal article about international relations or state policy or something like that, you can search through this function as well, and that can help you figure out what you should look for, how you should find other journals in the future. So actually, we're going to go to lessons next. Right here, we actually have LexisNexis Academic, which is fairly similar to regular LexisNexis, I'm fairly certain. But all right, so Hunter's going to take over on this.
How's everybody doing? Hopefully y'all are waking up a little bit. LexisNexis is really useful because it searches a lot of major publications. Done. All right. I think that probably the best way to use LexisNexis is to just go straight to the power search because it allows you to have a lot more control. I think that the terms and connectors makes it possible for you to do things like space and weapons, not China, if you want to do like specific searches. Although I generally switch over to natural language just because I've never been someone who thinks in like search terms. And I think that it's a lot easier to just be like, well, I want to find something about Obama's political capital, so I just type in Obama political capital. Select major world publications, and then search. And that'll bring up a whole lot of articles. You can see there's 1,000 articles that talk about Obama's political capital. But as I'm sure you can imagine, searching through 1,000 articles is would probably take up your entire time here at camp. Probably not what you want to do. There are a lot of ways that you can sort things. One of the easiest, especially for politics, is to go from newest to oldest. That way you're not cutting cards from like inauguration saying that Obama has a lot of political capital. Obviously, that's not as true anymore, although whether or not he has any political capital is a different debate. You can also search within your results. So say that you're looking for cards about Obama's political capital that talk about the healthcare debate. You can type in healthcare. And these will be articles talking about Obama in relation to the healthcare bill. Everyone loves a winner. Sounds like a pretty good link term. Winners win article. You can also show it in different ways. So like if you don't like the way that it's listed here because you can't really tell what's in the article, you can have it to where it's expanded. That'll show you every result of your search term within the article. So for example here, this becomes pretty obvious that this person is making an argument that passing healthcare helped Obama and made him stronger. You can tell that healthcare is used a lot in this article. This is especially helpful because sometimes you'll be looking for something very specific and you'll find a lot of articles that maybe have a passing reference to something, or maybe have like a little footnote that's like, this is a lot like what happened with the healthcare debate. It's not really that useful for you. You can also, over on the left here, you'll see that there are a lot of ways that you can sort this. For example, if I'm only really interested in newspapers, you can click that. This will actually give you a list of the sources that you have. This is not only useful for like if you don't like certain publications, which I'm not sure why that'd be an issue, but also if you're looking for a specific article, like somebody has referred you to like an amazing article, and you just can't find it anywhere else, this will help you narrow that down. There are also, you don't have to search major world publications. Oftentimes it's actually more useful to search in law reviews, especially when it comes to more questions of like what the U.S. can and can't do, what the U.S. has done in the past, and how that's been affected. This is especially useful, I think, for things like counterplan solvency, maybe even looking for definitions on topicality, because it'll be like, here's what the government has done in the past. For space policy, here's what substantially has meant in the past. And that'll kind of help you narrow down your results.